Hello and welcome back at our my home studio rather, and it's been a crazy few days. Anyone who sees me will realize I am completely exhausted. At the same time, we were just discussing in our work group, I'm running on a medicine called satisfaction. The last few days has been perhaps the best few days in the 4 years of Rev Sports. I've got to say this, and I've got to say this very, very candidly. Today, in this particular show, we will talk about Gautam Gambhir and Ravichandran Ashwin at length. My producer Prakash at the back end has 4 clips ready. We will be using the clips. There was a we didn't want it this way, but it happened and beautifully so. Gautam Gambhir and Ravichandran Ashwin were kind of engaged in a conversation across Trailblazers Conclave. Gautam made a few points. Ashwin responded to the points. It became a fascinating understanding of how team sport actually operates. It will give you an insight. It will give you an insight on Gautam's understanding of the sport. It will give you an insight of Ashwin's understanding of the sport. I tried to be as candid. Shubhan was with me in that Ashwin session. Dhairya, Ashwin is not happy with Gautam. This is exactly the point. And this is where Ashwin is a great. Ashwin made this point to me when I asked him that question, that if there is anybody who can be unhappy with Gautam, it is Ashwin. It is Ashwin. At the same time, Prakash, give me the first clip, that clip, where Ashwin actually talks about give me the clip where Ashwin is talking about Gautam's philosophy and the philosophy of team sport. Give me that clip. Let's deal with that clip, and I will
Individuality,
be
and
able
that's
to
why I love
answer
what
Dhairya's
Gautam
question.
talks, right? A lot of people end up, judging Gautam for what he's saying. We are all prisoners of our thoughts, right? And in many ways, his thoughts are his own, and you can't judge him for what he's saying. And he keeps on harping upon the fact that credit needs to be given to the team and not to individuals. Why does he say that?
Yesterday also he said that.
Well, yeah, and he's right. And he's right. And I am, for one, vouching for that being inside the team. Sure, you have your fandom, you adore players, but we are getting into a culture where we are dividing the players from the outside.
Correct.
By talking amazingly about someone and demeaning someone else. Just for example, you're all people working in corporates. Look, tomorrow I can turn up and say amazing things about you. But I have no business talking bad things about Subhayan, right? Like I need to understand that maybe I don't know enough of him to say things of great pedigree or whatever it is. But I rate you, and that's where it ends. But we've got into this crazy culture of that hero and villain business.
Dhairya, this is exactly the point. And for Ashwin to be able to say this, and by the way, he goes on to say you will be able to see the session in Trisha will put it out tomorrow. He will put it out tomorrow. Dhairya, can you just shut up? Just shut up. Rev Sport Studio is good, but the quality of live from studio is not good. This is not the studio here. Come on. Listen to the show. Don't bore me. Don't bore me. Listen to the show. This is not the studio. This is the home studio. The studio will be operative. It is operative. We will start using it from May, June. The studio is state of the art. Everything is brilliant. Don't worry. We spent crores. This is the home studio. So calm down and listen to the show. Don't bore me. The fact that Ravichandran Ashwin can say, you know, when I think when Ashwin said this to me, that if there is anybody who can have a grouse with Gautam, that's me. Big statement. And he's right. When Ashwin played in Australia, and he did well, by the way, he was not bad. I did not think Ashwin will retire at that point in time. I did not. I thought, and when he did announce his retirement, much like you, Dhairya, Ashwin is not happy with Gigi, much like you, I actually agreed. I agree with you there. I thought Ashwin will have enough reason to be unhappy with Gautam. Absolutely, what you said at the start, I agree with that. Why do I agree with that? Now, here's a man who at the start of the series was being tipped saying, "Arey, he got the better of Steve Smith. Ashwin is the one at 530 something wickets, will get to 600 wickets, perhaps even break Anil Kumble's record of the number of wickets. Ashwin at home, just the previous series, got 5 wickets also. India may have lost against New Zealand, but Ashwin did reasonably well. 3 wickets, 5 wickets, one innings. Before that, against the West Indies, if you remember, Ashwin did reasonably well. So for Ashwin to retire and not continue, I mean, because India was next playing England. After that, there was a home series against South Africa. He played the IPL last year. For Ashwin to retire, I was stunned. I'm pretty much hooked on to sport, and I know Ashwin very, very well. It came as a surprise, and I'm putting it on record. I asked him that. He and I were supposed to meet in Melbourne. We were on WhatsApp. We were supposed to meet in Melbourne, have dinner. Because I was going to Melbourne on the 20th or 21st of December, if I remember right from memory, in 24. He and I were supposed to meet for dinner. So for Ashwin to retire and say, "No, I'm going back, not going to Melbourne, coming back from Brisbane," was an absolute stunning shock for me. What happened? And much like you, I kind of thought that, yes, something is not right. Something is definitely not right. And when I thought that, that what is wrong, and I thought must be that Ashwin is unhappy with Gautam, because otherwise there can't be any explanation to this. That it is Gautam's team, Ashwin must be unhappy with Gautam, and this is clearly something that has come in haste. This is clearly something that has come out of frustration. This is clearly something that has come out of anger or spur of the moment, impulse. And knowing Ashwin, headstrong person, reacted like that, will not take that back anymore. I absolutely thought this was the case, Dhairya. So when you say Ashwin is not happy with Gigi, that's what my thought was at that point in time. So I must agree with you that I also thought the same then. But for Ashwin to come and say to us, and for the first time he actually opened up, because every time I've asked him, he said to me, "Oh, it's now done, I've moved on. It's now done, I've moved on. Let's talk about something else." So we've not spoken at length about that day. But for him to say that, I was not wrong in feeling frustrated, or it is not wrong in me feeling frustrated, but when I understand or look at it from Gautam's standpoint, I realize where he's coming from. For him, he always stresses on the importance of the team culture, relevance of the team, relevance of all of this. And from his standpoint, if Ashwin, Virat, and Rohit do not fit in that mix, Gautam is entitled. Gautam is entitled to looking beyond them, and you've got to accept it. I thought that was a fantastic statement by Ashwin, and that kind of sums up why Ravichandran Ashwin is a great. The clip was not full there. This was a part that, Prakash, you ought to have gotten. You ought to have also played the part where Ashwin actually says that if Gautam, it is not about one or two individuals. If Gautam did not have Virat, Rohit, or him in his scheme of things, he's entitled to that, because ultimately for him, the job was to win test matches or white ball matches, whatever you want to call it, for the Indian cricket team. And for Ashwin to say that, when I look at it, I kind of understand. I understand where Gautam Gambhir came from, is a massive statement. That's where I think that Ashwin interview stands out for me. That he says, yes, I had reasons to be frustrated, because when I think in terms of me as the individual, but I understand clearly where Gautam Gambhir is coming from. When I detach myself, I move away. Now that I can take a distance from it, and I see Gautam Gambhir doing certain things, taking certain calls, I understand that. It is his regime. He was thinking about how to get Indian cricket better, how to win matches, white ball, red ball, and based on that, he has acted on his beliefs. Now, if he believes that Ravichandran Ashwin does not figure in his scheme of things, it is either Jadeja or Washington Sundar, he is entitled to having his belief. It is not about good or bad. It is not about right or wrong. It is about a particular individual having a set of beliefs, being entrusted with the job, going ahead and trying to do that job to the best of his ability. That is the beauty of Test cricket. Play the other Ashwin clip, Prakash, and it will allow me to talk about this a little bit more in detail.
What was going through your mind? When did you decide to, call it quits from international cricket? And of course, your IPL retirement also gave us a bit of a shock. That why suddenly?
Okay. I've been on a flight for a while. Thanks for that introduction, Boria. So let me just gather my thoughts before I say anything. Look, I think it's a long way back now. For me, I just move on the next day. I've decided something. I don't really hang on to what has gone by. I think the best thing that I can say about the whole episode and how it panned out and where I am right now is, since the day I called it quits, I haven't even, like, one of the amazing things about playing the game or playing anything at the highest level or whatever I accomplished was, when you go to bed on a particular night after you've achieved something or you failed, is that you think through it, you have dreams of it. It's just an amazing feeling. I've just moved on from it very, very quickly and rapidly. Sure, I didn't have to deliberate it for a lot of times. When I make my decision, I make it, and I don't really, go back and forth. One of my strongest assets, I feel, is my ability to make decisions. Whether it's right or wrong is for people to debate, but at the end of the day, it's my life. I need to do it on my terms. The moment, I think, at Perth, when we had Jaddu and myself as the lead spinners in the side, and Washi played that game in Perth, and then the next game again I came in, and then I had to again make way, was kind of suggestive or indicative to me that my time was up. And
So there you go. Interesting. And he while he says that, he also says that when he kind of looks at it from the perspective of Gautam, he understands that Gautam is very much within his rights to take these calls. That's his job now. If he believes that Ravichandran Ashwin is needed for India, he will pick him. If he believes that Ravichandran Ashwin is not needed for India, somebody else is better to do that job, he will not pick him. That's why Ashwin is a great. Acceptance, detachment, these are important qualities. Let's answer a few of these questions also. Aditya Shankar, have we moved on from star player culture to star coach culture? I'm seeing this. You are basically, बहती गंगा में हाथ धोने का कोशिश कर रहे हो आप. This is a trend that is going on in social media, so you think this will be a smart comment to make. We have not seen the coach a lot post test defeats. Now we see the coach a lot in the media. Let's be very categoric here. Post the test defeat, post England, if you see, it was Gautam Gambhir who came in Leeds. Okay? It was Gautam Gambhir. I was there. I don't know if you were there or not, or you have followed or not. It was Gautam Gambhir who came and addressed the press. Okay? It was Gautam Gambhir who came and addressed the press after the defeat against South Africa also. Okay? It was Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir, one thing you have to give it to him. You might disagree with him. I do disagree with him on many things. But I cannot ever say that the guy doesn't talk straight. He'll take the bullet. He doesn't bother about the bullet. That much I have got to give him. I asked him all the tough questions. I asked him about Rohit Kohli. I asked him everything. Everything. He answered all my questions. I asked him, what do you want me to call the session? He said, straight talk with Gautam. I said, boss, straight talk means straight talk. He answered all straight talk. Simple. So it's not about star culture. Every statement was, it is not about an individual, it is about the team. He said, my real legacy will be if we move on from this individual culture to the team culture. He talked about Shivam Dubey. He talked about Sanju Samson. He talked about Ishan Kishan. He talked about Hardik Pandya's 2 sixes against Will Jackson in the semi-final. He talked about Ashdeep Singh being as important as Jasprit Bumrah. He talked about Varun. He talked about all of the players. Not once, Aditya, did he talk about an individual. This is his mantra. This is his mantra. At no point will he say it is about an individual. You might disagree with him. No problem. But the point is, you have to understand where this guy is coming from. The idea is Gigi does a test from one bad IPL in 25, don't play full season. No. Nothing to do with IPL. He judged Ashwin from his part. Can Ashwin win me test matches? That's it. In his schema, I thought Ashwin had game left. I'm telling you, I did think Ashwin should have been persisted with. India went on with a Washington Sundar, one spinner in Australia. Ashwin was dropped. I absolutely think someone who had the better of Steve Smith should have been given a game. That pitch would have suited Ashwin more. But it is not about me thinking or you thinking. It is about Gautam taking some honest calls which might go wrong. That's why he said that I am human, I am entitled to making mistakes. We might judge him in hindsight and say that was a mistake. Much like we will say for this white ball, Sanju Samson was a great move up front. Much like we will say to persist with Abhishek Sharma, you got that 50 out of Abhishek Sharma in the final, was a brilliant move. Much like we'll say you got Ishan Kishan back and whole tournament Ishan Kishan was excellent for India, was a brilliant move. So while we are giving him credit for this, we will also have to accept that he is human and that could have been a mistake. He's not shying away from it. But in his team in Australia, that's what the team he wanted. He thought this is the team that can win me a test match in Australia, and he went ahead with it. What is this question? What is this question? Sporting destination. Don't crib about quality. See the Conclave testament about sports. See coverage at England, not only cricket, but yeah. And by the way, sporting destination. Thanks, very kind of you. But I don't think Dhairya meant it like that. Firstly, secondly, this is my small studio at home. The studio is state of the art. Quality will be tremendous. Don't worry. We spent, like I said, we spent enormous money. So everything is spick and span. We will start working from the studio full-fledged from the middle of the year. And there's no question. Even I'm conscious. This is a smallish studio. We operate from a relatively small place. But for the last 3 years, we converted the top floor of my house into a makeshift studio and we operated. It takes time to build a studio. Rome wasn't built in one day. This new studio has 7,700 square feet space. You will get state of the art. You look at the Conclave, I don't think there has been any Conclave which comes even remotely close to this Conclave in terms of quality in sport in India. And I'm being very, very candid here. No pompous nonsense from me. With due humility, I'm saying 35 athletes, 65 speakers, 23 sessions. Nobody has done it. And every session on its own, in terms of the quality of content, stood out. That's why it's important. Bruce Street, he said he wants to remove superstar culture. In my opinion, he wants to be that superstar. He never was in his playing career. He doesn't care two hoots, Bruce Street. He doesn't care two hoots. He wants to leave behind a legacy where every player is respected and not one individual. He has more than enough money. He could have coached an IPL team and gotten many, many crores. He doesn't care. He doesn't care for this whole superstar, whatever. No, I don't know how much you know Gautam. I know Gautam very well. And that's why, I mean, when he answered about Rohit and Kohli, which went viral in the country, he answered every question. The legacy that this guy wants to leave behind is pretty straightforward. The legacy he wants to leave behind it's about the team and not the individual. Give credit to the small contributions, the catch, the run out, the throw. He talked about, people are talking about the 17th over of Jasprit Bumrah, but not the 19th over from Hardik Pandya. He talked about Samson. He talked about all of them. And by the way, it is as much his team. So if he comes to a press conference, he had come for the press conference after the Leeds defeat. It's not as if he did not come. He did speak to the press after the defeat against South Africa. It's not as if he did not come. So all of these things, one has to give it to Gautam Gambhir, Ajay Biswas. Can we see left-handed batters inclusion in ODI top 5? Batters like Tilak, Pant, Rinku can be some good options. Top 5, even if Hardik is fit, will be a problem in South Africa. Fair question, Ajay, fair question. But again, you have to see, it is about performance, it's about quality, it's about team composition. So I do see Tilak. He's a very, very good batter, has the ability to soak in the pressure bat long. But when I see that ODI team, I see a Kohli, I see a Gill, I see a Jaiswal still at the backup, I see a Sharma, I see a Shreyash Iyer, I see a KL Rahul. Where will you want to fit in anybody in the top 5? Virat Kohli is batting like an absolute champion again. Rohit Sharma, the way he batted in Australia in the ODI series, even the starts that he gave against South Africa, I think Rohit Sharma has enough cricket left. Coming to Shubman Gill, he's your captain. I think he's a top-notch white ball player in the 50-over format, not the T20. T20, the recent template of 250 runs that you've done your experiment with Shubman Gill, I think that's not his format. But in the 50-over format, where you can build an innings, Shubman Gill is top-notch. Shreyash Iyer is a bona fide white ball great. Absolutely, Shreyash Iyer is a bona fide white ball champion. I don't see Shreyash Iyer not being there. KL Rahul, at number 5 as wicketkeeper batter, KL Rahul has been tremendous, Ajay. So where do you see Rishabh Pant coming in? Rishabh Pant is a top quality player. But this 5, at this point, yeah, someone starts failing, someone loses form, someone gets injured. Those are different points. But otherwise, where is the change that you can kind of predict? স্টুডিও কখন দেখাবো ভাই? স্টুডিও তো আগের দিন দেখিয়ে দিয়েছি। স্টুডিও কখন দেখাবো মানে কি? আগের দিন স্টুডিওটা ইনঅগারেট করেছি ম্যাক্স। We will start full scale programming from summer. You will see a lot of programming from the studio. There are 4 different studios: Hindi, Bangla, English, a podcast, alada studio, different studios. So you will see a lot of that. বিদ্যুৎ দাস, তুমি এই কনক্লেভ যা করেছো কোনো কথা হবে না। অশ্বিন জিজি, অফিসে কাজ করছি, লাইভ দেখছি, ফোনে পিছনে মুরলি স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। Yeah, the conclave genuinely went very well. Appreciate the comment and love, thank you very much. Congrats on the successful conclave. Which session did you personally enjoy the most? Yeah, I three sessions I would say are my highlights. The one I hosted with Gautam will stand out because it was a fascinating deep dive into the man's mind. I loved the second cricket session, Harbhajan, Zahir, Venkatesh, because of the history, the anecdotes, the storytelling. It was the perfect Bengali adda in the evening, the perfect Bengali adda, and I loved it. I thought the Bengali adda was tremendous about the 2001 Test match and beyond. I also loved the 2 more, Sania Mirza and Mithali Raj sessions. They were excellent. Many, how do I single out? The Pratika Rawal, Manika Batra session stood out for me. The Neeraj Chopra, that Paralympic session was tremendous. There are the conclave, Priyanshu, I'll be candid. I have not seen range, scope, breadth, quality, deep as good as this one. Speakers were genuine. People spoke openly. We had open discussion. We had enormous amount of depth on show. We had proper time so everybody could answer. Moderators were not jumping in. We had proper distribution of panels. I honestly think it was a tremendous one. Why Gigi always pinpoint Rohit and Kohli? He did not pinpoint. Where did he pinpoint anybody? Where did he pinpoint? I asked him a question that when people say that you are against Rohit and Kohli, it is said that a coach is against this player. You are sharing the dressing room. You are trying to win cricket games for India. How do you react to such allegations? How do you react to such trolls or criticism or abuse? That's when he reacted. And I also, I said, you are human. How do you respond to such abuse? And that's when he went on to say that he's human. He's entitled to making mistakes much like we are, and goes on to, went on to say whatever he did. I don't think he's pinpointing on anyone. No way is he pinpointing on anyone. Bruce Street, you objectively good ODI batter, great against spin. His biggest struggles were against seam and pace, especially in Sena tests. Who are you talking about? Bruce Street? Who's this person? About Gautam. Okay, you're talking about Gautam. I think, this is not about him as a cricketer. I think this is about him as a coach now. His understanding of the sport, and I'm telling you this having spoken to many. spoken to many cricketers, Ganguly, Harbhajan, Zahir, Venkatesh, Irfan, Ashwin. His understanding of the game is less to none. The guy is a fantastic understand and analyst of the game. If you ask me his red ball record, absolutely his red ball record is not good. Absolutely, Bruce Street, India has to get better in red ball. I asked him, I said, boss, you will be the first person to acknowledge that your red ball record is not good. And he talked about transition. He talked at length about the team that played New Zealand and the team that played South Africa and the transition. And he said that the fact that I have not spoken about transition doesn't mean that transition is not happening. So again, not on every point do you need to agree. Prakash, play the Gautam Gambhir clip, please. Play that one clip, not the MS Dhoni one. Play the other one.
I request you, steer this team to the Olympic gold. Yes, no.
Look, I would love to be part of the Olympic winning team. I would love to be, because I've always believed very, very few privileged people get the opportunity to represent the country in Olympics. And if ever I get the opportunity, I think it'll be an honor. But again, I think I don't look that far ahead. I think the next challenge is World Test Championship, and then obviously 50 over World Cup as well. And those are two challenges which are going to be there in future.
Gautam Das, all World Cup teams. Prakash, give it to me. Give it to me. Gautam, all World Cup teams performed. 1983 also Kapil performed. Sunny contributed. Patil and Mohinder. Other World Cup GG, but nothing extraordinary. TC is zero. What are you trying to say? Can you explain a little bit? Gautam Das, kindly explain your question a little bit. Museum studio Rokhane. Yes, museum will be integrated within the studio. The entire studio will be full of artifacts. The conference room will be full of artifacts based on a theme. Every studio, the podcast studio, the Hindi, Bangla, English, the workstations, the edit suites, everything will be designed with artifacts, keeping a sporting achievement in mind. IPL থেকে হবে না দাদা? Yeah, some programming will start from IPL. I will personally travel from mid-May. I will be teaching first, and then covering the Women's World Cup, and then the India White Ball Series and the Commonwealth Games. So that's the reason. Once I am back in India, full-fledged programming will move to the studio. That's the plan, Max OP. That's the plan, because there will be some programming before that. But once I move full-fledged to the come back to Kolkata, we will move full-fledged to the studio, because I will personally be away for a while. Conclave was very good with Ashwin and Gigi. Conclave was not just about them. Conclave was about multi-sport. It was about Sanya, about Manika, about Pratika, about, of course, about Ashwin and Gigi, about Harbhajan, about Zahir, about Neeraj Chopra, about Sumit Antil, about Yogesh Kathunia. Talk about that, Dhairya. Break out from this mindset of cricket. About Swapnil Kusale, about shooting. You know how many sports were represented in the conclave? 20 plus. 20 plus sports. That is why the conclave is special. The conclave was extraordinary, and I am a fierce critic of my own work. I've given it 110 out of 100. That is because we closed it on time, we opened it on time, we stuck to time, we did not disrespect speakers because there were some stars who were bigger than the others. Nothing like that. Multi-sport at its absolute best at the conclave. Absolute best at the conclave. That's why the conclave was special, Dhairya. That's why the conclave was special. Conclave was a very well-organized event. Star brought huge visibility and awareness among the public. Keep up the good work. No, Gautam Das, I'm not asking that. You tell me what was the question. Tell me what was the question. Venkatesh was doing great thing in KSCA, bring back matches in Chinnaswamy. We asked that question. How did he bring back matches to the Chinnaswamy? And Venkatesh Prasad answered it in great detail. Priyanshu, great insights, Dr. Padiwala. Sport and injury go hand in hand. Glad you invite. This is what is important. This is why I like Priyanshu, because you don't just talk celebrities. Don't give me Gautam Gambhir and Ravi Ashwin. Of course, you have to have stars to highlight a conclave. But for me, an Ashwin is as important, or a Dr. Padiwala is as important as a Gautam Gambhir. That's quality. That's meat. That's juice. That's what depth is all about. That session, Dr. Padiwala, Rahul Bose, Adil Sumariwala, and DB Sundararaman. Fantastic session. Fantastic session. Dr. Padiwala on Rishabh Pant's injury, on other injuries, on Bumrah. Rahul Bose on rugby. Boy. Gigi emphasized on team game. This had been the trend in all World Cup wins, nothing exceptional. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. If you still think about the 2011 World Cup, you will see the MS Dhoni innings of 97, 91, whatever, get more credit than say Gautam's 97, or for that matter, who talks about Virat's 41? Tell me, how many of us talk about Zahir Khan's 3 maiden overs? World Cup 2011, and we talk about Dhoni's 6. How many of us even remember Sachin scored 492? Tell me. How many of us remember Virat scored an important 41? Obviously, Yuvraj people remember because of Ahmedabad. How many of us remember Suresh Raina's most important contribution in Ahmedabad against Pakistan, and then, against Australia, and then in Mohali against Pakistan? How many of us remember these smaller contributions? So no. And Gautam's personal one, 75 in the World Cup final in 2007, 2011. Gautam, can kind of rest on his own individual milestones in the World Cup final. He doesn't want that. He's talking about the relatively smaller contribution. That's why I said, how many of us remember Zahir's 3 maidens? 3 maidens in a World Cup final on the trot. Unbelievable. How many of us remember that? So point is, the emphasis on the collective, the emphasis on the team has to be a Gautam Gambhir high point. Now, the clip that Prakash played about Gautam Gambhir and the Olympic Games, that's a fantastic one. Do I see Gautam Gambhir in the Olympic Games? I do. I actually think he should not, because as a white ball coach, he has cracked the code. The chap knows white ball cricket inside out. He has been coach of the IPL winning team. He knows white ball. He has won the Champions Trophy. He has won the Asia Cup. He has won this T20 bilaterals. Yes, you can say he's lost 2 50-over bilaterals, but overall, recent times, even 50-over bilaterals, Gautam Gambhir has an excellent record. Champions Trophy, India won without breaking a sweat. The chap must stay on. Red ball cricket is the problem. Red ball cricket is where he has to get much better. Can he do that? Can he get better for the dust bowls of Sri Lanka? Can he get better for the swinging tracks of New Zealand? Can he emphasize and get preparation time? For example, I actually believe that preparation time was nonsense against South Africa. 3 days after coming back from Australia, you're playing a test match at the Eden Gardens, that too on a ranked turner. I think there was no way India could have competed in that test match. South Africa had better preparation, for God's sake. That's where when he said that 7 days, BCCI has agreed that 7-8 days of preparation, I think that's absolutely paramount. Absolutely paramount. But when it comes to white ball cricket, I think the guy has mastered this format. Boss, he knows this game. That's why when I think of 50 overs, Saurav Ganguly made this point about Gautam Gambhir's real test will be South Africa. I think Saurav is right, because the ball will move a little bit. Gautam will have to create a team to negotiate that. That's where Virat Kohli becomes important for me, because he knows the conditions there. He has the experience. So does Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill, because of his ability with the bat, the quality the man has with the bat. Shreyas Iyer, these guys will be able to negotiate that. KL Rahul, magically could, test match player. So he will be able to negotiate that. So when you are talking 50-over cricket in South Africa for the World Cup, you will have to start planning now. And Gautam has started that. Gautam has absolutely started that. Tushar Misal, you're right. And that's what I said about test match cricket, that if there's some format where Gautam Gambhir, the point is Gautam Gambhir has mastered the art of white ball. Red ball, no. He has to prepare the Indian team for the dust bowls of Sri Lanka. And look at this. India is going to play in England between 1st of July and 19th of July. Now, what does that mean? That the team will go around the 25th of June and the team will come back on the 20th of the 21st of July. Now, if that is the case, how many days are you going to get before you go to Sri Lanka? How will you train for the dust bowls of Sri Lanka? If you do not win in Sri Lanka, your WTC ambitions are gone. Then, after Sri Lanka, you are actually going to New Zealand on tracks which will be green. The Duffys of the world and the Jamisons of the world will jump on you. So how do you master those conditions? What's your preparation? That's where Gautam needs to make much better planning. And we asked him, I don't know how many of you have seen the session, but go check the session. The session was viral, that clip about mistakes and human and all of that. But overall, the session had tremendous amount of depth. Tremendous amount of depth. I think it was a 54-minute session. A 54-minute session with Gautam Gambhir. Tremendous amount of depth. You guys should go and check that session out. You will absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Test cricket is a game of character, temperament. Question is, does GG process? He does. He does. You know, he is one guy, Gautam Das. Don't forget, he was the guy who batted 9.5 hours in New Zealand, scored 137 and saved the game in 2009. He was the guy who said in the dressing room that, you know, if we are the number one team in the world, it is time to prove we are the number one team in the world, and let's save this game. Bat for 2 whole days. And he did. He batted for 9 hours, scored 137. He absolutely has the temperament. Make no mistake, he has the temperament. And Test cricket is not about high risk, high reward. High risk, high reward is a different guard, but not the white ball temperament that you come and hit from ball one, that every ball is a separate story. No. So obviously it's a very different template. But does he have the temperament? Of course he does. Does he have the skill set? Of course he does. That 2009 is a glaring example of what happened in New Zealand. And you will remember after that we got, bajaued in New Zealand every time we've gone. But that series, that 137 not out, India batting for 2 whole days, literally saving that game, was a standout. So the guy knows what he's talking about. Let's not underestimate. Saurav Ganguly keeps telling me this. Give him time. Give him time. In England, when the wickets were good, India played tremendous Test cricket. How can we forget? Did you and I give? Let's all of us agree. I kept saying India will be competitive. Did any one of us think India could win the series? Any one of us think it would be a 2-2 draw? Any one of us thought England would be at their home, really be pushed by India? Now people will come and say those were batting decks. Whose problem is that? India's. Whose problem is that? If England has produced a certain kind of deck, India has gone and played on that deck. Did India go and tamper with the wickets and get the batting decks done? Manchester, was it a, Oval, was it a batting deck? Manchester under cloud, day one, green track, was that a batting deck? Leeds and Birmingham, chalo. But India is not responsible for the wickets that they're playing on, especially on away tours. So, and India went on to draw that series 2-2. Fantastic series. Gautam's high point, and so he's not a bad coach. I think Saurav Ganguly is right when he says that Gautam overthinks the wicket in home conditions. At home, you don't need a rank turner. You need a good wicket because you can play on good wickets and score big runs. And your bowlers, somebody like a Jasprit Bumrah or a Kuldeep Yadav, have the ability. They absolutely, even Mohammad Siraj, they have the ability to bowl on good batting decks and nail opposition. So you absolutely have that ability. I think that's where Saurav is right, that this guy should take wickets away from his system at home, in home conditions. Away conditions, when he has no control over the wicket, India was tremendous in England. Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan, is Ireland series also added? They were talking about it. It will be not July, it will be June. On the way, they'll play 3 and maybe go to England. So Ireland series will be added there. Definitely, people are talking about it. And we will keep you updated on that. But the time is not much, because if you remember, Afghanistan is 10-14, and then so 6-10 is the test match, 14, 17, and 19 are the ODIs. And in England, you are playing from 1st of July. So clearly, you will have to be in England from, say, 27. You're actually talking about what? A 7-day window? You're talking about a 7-day window. So if India leaves from home on 20th or 21st of June, you've got to be in England, I'm assuming 27, max 28, because you're playing on the 1st. So you're talking about between the 22nd and the 27th, a 5-day window. That's what you have, 5-6-day window for Ireland. Not more than that. Definitely not more than that. So we have to see because you're playing against Afghanistan between June 6th and June 19th. Good, I forgot about 137, losing home series doubling has never happened. Of course it hasn't. And that's why the criticism. Absolutely, Gautam. That's why the criticism. The criticism is because at home, we have not lost matches like this. So what is the corrective? Are you happy with red ball? That's exactly the question that one asked. Fair point. But that's precisely, we are unhappy with red ball performances. We are happy with white ball because white ball has been superb. Is there a chance of Shreyas getting the ODI captain? Not right now. And why? Why would you want Shreyas to become ODI captain, removing Gill? What has he done wrong? Sarthak Bharadwaj, I don't think Gill has done anything wrong for Shreyas to be made captain. Shreyas was made vice captain. Let him be vice captain. Let Gill lead. You've clearly got a plan till 27. You gave Surya a whole year. He went on to win you the T20 World Cup. You've made Gill captain 6 months back. You remove him as captain. Why? What has he done? You remove him as captain, and what signal are you sending? I don't think India is going to remove Shubman Gill before 2027 World Cup. No chance. Zero chance. It is already March. You are talking about 18 months. You're talking about 18 months for the World Cup in September, October, November of next year. No chance of Shubman Gill being removed from the captaincy. At least I don't see that, unless he's injured or something happens to him. Otherwise, no chance. Absolutely, and very right call. Very right call. So coming back to the Olympics point, I would be delighted if Gautam stays on, because as a white ball coach, and that Olympic medal will mean a world to these people. First time since 1900, cricket back at the Olympic Games. And Olympic Games is an Olympic Games. No cricket tournament can match that. To go ahead and win a medal at the Olympic Games for India, it will mean the world for Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav, or whoever is the player in 2028 as captain. Surya Kumar Yadav has already said he wants to play 2028 and will push himself for that. So Olympic Games will be massive, absolutely massive, massive. My problem is, Shongmit makes an important point, that problem with the test side is lack of fast bowlers. But actually, if you don't, we asked this question of Ashwin, and he made some fascinating point, Shongit. He said, Khalil Ahmed has everything. Why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? Yeah, Kohli, go. Boryada, your content quality pretty good, visual representation. I accept it. I accept it, because you have to also understand. You have to understand that we were operating from a makeshift studio. The studio has now been readied. Programming will start from, in earnest from the middle of the year. Why do you think we invested in the studio if we did not need it? We have spent lakhs and crores, not lakhs, crores on the new studio. Why? Why? It's 7,700 square feet. Why? Because we know that we have to get better and better. We are, perhaps the best sports platform in the country. Look at the Conclave. We look at the kind of on-ground reportage that we do. 6, 7, 8, 9 reporters, people traveling to around the world to multi-sport, not just cricket. We will have people in hockey for Belgium and Netherlands, because India will play in Netherlands for the Hockey World Cup. We'll have people at FIFA. We'll have people at football. We'll have people at Asian Games. 7 people. We will have people at Commonwealth Games. So we know that on-ground reportage is what we thrive on. So our focus was more on ground. Our focus was there. Our focus was to build a property with the Conclave. Now, and obviously we know that this studio cannot be the supplement to a proper state-of-the-art studio that some other television platforms might have. That is why this investment into the studio, and you will have it. That's the whole point. Otherwise, why would I do a studio and do a hoo-ha about it? We have invested in top-notch equipment, top-notch. Acoustics has been worked for 3-4 months, soundproofing, layering, but all our senior technical staff were at it. You will see the best quality programming from the studio. So don't worry. I mean, it takes time, because this makeshift home studio is something that has given us footing. But when you become better and better and better, you invest more and more, and that's what we've done into the new studio. Massive fan of you since India today, Kohli. You will understand that. That's why I explained to you. Why do you think I'm explaining? Because I know you guys back us. You must also understand that we are take the Conclave. There are 34 athletes. Give me one example. You guys give me one example where chalo 10 athlete aa gaya. Give me one example. Except it's the BCCI function or something like that. Or you will see an award function. Award functions, 2 hours, except the BCCI. BCCI is different. They will have obviously access to everything. But for 3 days, and 3 whole days multi-sport. Tell me. That's where Trailblazers has become a trailblazing event in the country. That's why it is that important. We have spent our energies on ground reportage. Go to England, go to Australia, go to Holland, go to the US, go to Ahmedabad, go to wherever the game is, go to Sri Lanka, go to wherever. Because that's how journalism should be done, not sitting in my studio and giving you gyan. And obviously, the look and feel, this studio is a makeshift studio. I acknowledge it. That's why the whole effort of putting a studio in place, we've worked 2 years. And why do you think we've done that? Shongbit, Dada couldn't follow the conclave, had a cycle meeting out of Kolkata, really want to attend next time? Of course you should. You are an ardent viewer. The conclave, we gave invites to people who wrote to us, people who are serious viewers. We don't charge. It will be an experience of a lifetime. You will see athletes everywhere. People are much more relaxed. People talk, mingle. Absolutely, you should. The multi-sport range was just next level, raise the bar. Yeah, Pratap, that's the point. And not just multi-sport. Think about it. Corporates, investment, sports education, sports academics, talking about sports universities, women's empowerment, women's health, body. Look at the range of, each one was curated, personal curation. These are issues which will not be highlighted in this country. And I tell you that, mental health, range of issues. That's where the conclave, and I'm overwhelmed at the feedback. Chalo, let's play the final clip. Prakash, wo ye chala do yaar.
Media person, at least I know it like that. But your exchange with Mahendra Singh Dhoni broke the internet. Tell me about it. Instagram, Gautam, Gambhir and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that thing, that was as big as the World Cup. I mean, the whole country got behind you.
No, actually, good on him to come and watch the World Cup final. Good on him to ask me to smile. And I wish one day he could be in my position and I can. Yeah, absolutely.
This smile is for
and
Mahendra
hopefully
Singh
one
Dhoni.
day he could be in my position and I can write the same thing. And hopefully he can smile from the dugout. But again, good on him.
Lovely exchange. Everybody has seen that exchange on Instagram. Sorry, Boryada, Shubman is not ready as a captain. He's not ready to lead ODI team. How do you know, Sharthak? How do you know this? The guy has been made captain in September. How do you know he's not ready? Have you given him time? 3 months mein aapne pata kar liya, he's not ready. He's had a tremendous test, this thing in England. He wasn't part of your South Africa series. When he became captain in the test matches in England, it wasn't easy. How can an England series be easy? The guy did wonderfully well, got 750 runs. Had he still been at the Eden Gardens test match, in hindsight, I would have said India would have won. How do you know he can't be good enough? Let's not judge people like this. Really, let's not judge people like this. T20 World Cup played every 2 years. Question is, will it not dilute? So far, it hasn't. Look at the feedback. Look at the kind of crowds. Where has it diluted? This has been the case for last 6 years now. 2022, 2024, 2026. Were you not interested in 24? Were you not interested in 26? Why are you asking this question? You are yourself watching every game from 2022 onwards. So where is the diminishing importance that we are talking about? No. One thing that Ref Sports has changed is the fact that media houses have again started to allow the junior journalists. Nobody does that here from it. Nobody does that. Which junior journalist is getting a chance to cover? Nobody gets a chance to cover except us. No junior journalist goes. It will all be reserved for these sports editors. They will not allow people to grow. And I understand why. In my case, the move from journalism to entrepreneurship allowed me to do that. Otherwise, if I was in a job, I would have still wanted to go. Now that's not my point. My point is to create legacy as owner, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. It is my job to grow everybody. Boria, the journalist, cannot be the centerpiece. Boria, the entrepreneur or the editor-in-chief of the platform, has to take center stage. That's not the case for some of these people who are there. That's their job, their day job. They will not give opportunities to the others. But take a look at the World Cup. Where was a young journalist? Who was a young journalist? No. In Sri Lanka for the India-Pakistan match, who was young? Which youngster went to cover the? No, Shungi. No. Only us. That's where, and I'm telling you, and I'm, by the way, this is not blaming anybody. I understand why, because these people, that's their job. If they are, out of mind, out of sight, if they are not in your radar, you will not follow them. So that's not the case. Anyway, 50 minutes, time to end the show. The Ravi Ashwin session and all other sessions coming your way, incredible amount of content, tremendous. Engage with them. Watch the multi-sport sessions if you've missed them. Absolutely watch. Absolutely watch. Watch the cricket sessions. Enjoy them. This is your platform, folks, as much as mine. Which is more hectic, being a journalist or come on, there's no comparison. Being a journalist is nothing compared to being an entrepreneur. I mean, at the end of the month, I've got to pay salaries for 52 people, Shpriyanshu. I'm responsible for 200 people. Each family has 52 people work for work for us now. If I take all 52 into 4, we are talking about 200 people who are being fed by Rev Sports. They're dependents. I mean, I am responsible for the livelihood of these people. You think there is, as a journalist, there is even 1/10, 1/5 of the pressure? Come on, 1/100th of the pressure? No, man. One my own story, big deal. This is far more challenging, far more interesting, far more fascinating, far more demanding than ever any journalistic assignment will be. Entrepreneurship is a different ballgame. Dada, game changers, sports today have done that. They are all bogus. All these fellows, Manoj and people are good. Manoj is a good journalist. Vikrant and Nikhil will still travel. Rest of them are bullshit, bogus. I mean, let's not even bring them into the equation. You have to first understand quality. You have to understand ethicality, and then Manoj and people are good journalists. They are good journalists. And by the way, Manoj is not a youngster. Manoj when he first started his career under me with the salary, I'm not even wanting to mention the salary. You guys will be shocked. Then I pushed and pushed to get his salary doubled. If you ever have Manoj, ask him. I grew Manoj. I know Manoj is a good journalist. And by the way, he has been around for 10, 12 years now. So he's not a rookie. He's definitely not a rookie. Why not from new studio? Boss, yesterday Conclave ended. I've got to give people a break. I mean, and some work. The 4th floor is not complete yet. So we've got to go back to completing the 4th floor. Work on the building is still on. The 1st floor is done. It will take a couple of months to get the 4th floor complete and then move in. So as I said, you will see some programming of the IPL from the new studio. You absolutely will see some programming of the IPL. In fact, we will record quite a few shows of ours from the new studio, from the IPL. But post the IPL, once I'm back from the UK, I will be teaching in a little bit of May, June, and then I will cover the Women's World Cup, the Commonwealth Games, and the Men's Tour. Once I'm back, full-fledged programming from the studio, for sure. But even IPL programming, some of it will be from the new studio, because the 4th floor, there's still a lot of dust. Like a new build, facility, as you can understand. The conference room is getting done, the education bit is getting done, the slides and the technology there and projection systems and all of that is getting done. So the 4th floor is still not done. It will take a couple of months to get the 4th floor done. The Pine Shore looks really great, by the way. Thank you. Congratulations. Yes, boss, a lot of hard work. And we are not a business family. It is not as if we were born with wealth. It's not a business family. It's hard-earned money. It's hard-earned money that we've been able to plow in. So we want to make a difference, and your support will be essential. Studio looks good. I saw one show. Yeah, that was just the first makeshift. That was the inaugural day. Studio looks superb. I'm telling you, we have studied models from around the world and built it. Absolute state of the art. Tremendous. I mean, the kind of stuff we put in, we've not compromised on any quality. It's very, very good. You will see a lot happening from there, from the IPL on, maybe little bit from the IPL, and as I said, from the middle of the year, loads. I will actually be going to the studio every day of the week from the middle of the year once I'm back from the UK. For now that's all I have. Thank you very much for watching. Keep backing us. Keep supporting us. My request is go and watch the Conclave content. Watch all of the Gautam Gambhir stuff that we put out today. Tomorrow, it will be a lot of the Ravi Ashwin stuff that we will be editing and putting out. Watch, enjoy, keep supporting us. Thank you very much for watching.